So we had a Zoom lunch this week, which was awesome. My big message is you should love yourself, and you can love your work. And we love you, obviously, everybody who listens to the show, so we're really appreciative. So here is a sampling of the Q&A that we got from an awesome audience. I highly recommend the Q&As, not because I think that I have anything great to say, I do not, but the chat was amazing. The advice people were giving to one another, I think we had over 200 people. The advice people were giving to one another was so inspiring. Like, I was like reading the advice as we're talking, and I was like, shit, these people know more than I do. So we'll kick it to the Q&A.
Question about not liking your job, but kind of struggling navigating what other roles or fields your skills apply to. So I'm a teacher, which is a very, like, going through college, it's all very, very singular. There's not even switching your major is extremely hard because everything you're doing is just towards education. So I guess my question is what would you recommend with navigating, trying to figure out where your skills apply to in other businesses and other categories?
I think I think you have to have a vision for like what other sector, or category or type of job you want. Personally, like, all right, let's just pretending I was a teacher, learning and development and human resources is like, it's in such demand right now. So what you would need is, how to do the teaching bit. You need to understand the industry, you need to understand the sector, and you need to get some experience. If you look at Rachel is just looking at me. Rachel was a teacher before she came to Barstool Sports. I didn't even know what Rachel did during the day. I really didn't care. I just thought she was funny on social media and she'd be a good rep for the voice we were trying to create. So I think for anybody, if you're trying to make a change, is like there's got to be something in your job that can be relevant somewhere else. But you also can't, you can't buy your own bullshit. You have to be like, what am I missing and how do I get that thing? And I think that's really important. Second question I had in this section is, how do you advocate for yourself in a productive way when you disagree with a decision your boss has made? This is actually a really good question, and I would love advice on this as well. My 2 cents in terms of how I've handled this, which is disagreement is incredible and positive. Insubordination can be really ugly and not bode well for you in your career. So one thing that I think is important, we have a person here at Barstool, when he disagrees with what he's been told to do or not do or stop doing, he just yeses you and then continues to do it. So I would not recommend that. I find that highly irritating. I think most people find that irritating. I think the second piece of it is, when you disagree, be sure that you're disagreeing in a way that's obviously respectful and obviously constructive, but also in the manner in which you can be most fulsome about your point of view. So, if someone here has a disagreement with someone else here, I think some people do better in having like a verbal argument or a verbal conversation. Other people do a better job of laying all their thoughts down in an email or on paper. Other people feel most prepared when they make a presentation. I think the one place where disagreements get really foul is when they just go back and forth in email and they're passive. Like, we have people who do this here. I think they do it everywhere. It drives me fucking nuts. So I think the passive, I disagree with you in email, but we just let it hang in the air, is really unproductive. I think the best thing is to share why you disagree, to make your point that backs up your point of view and your rationale for that, to have a dialogue after you've given that information. And then depending on what's happened, you have to live with the decision. But I don't think that if let's say your boss chose the wrong route and they have to change course, then it gives you the opportunity to say, hey, I've noticed that this is perhaps not going the way we thought it would. Use the word we deliberately. And, would you be comfortable if we gave my route a try?